The Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama is back. It is this weekend at Barber Motorsports Park. And the Grand Marshal for this year's Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama is the legendary Mario Andretti, who joins us on the Rick and Bubba Show. Mario, welcome back.
Good morning, guys. Rick and Bubba.
Yeah, that's right, baby. You know what? I just got back from Italy. And I want to tell you, it was my first time to go to Rome and to Florence and go out to the hills of Tuscany. And what a beautiful, beautiful country.
Allora, parli italiano o no?
I know. All I know is buongiorno. And you know what I noticed, Mario, and I laughed about this all these years living in the United States. I didn't know, and I know that we can't really call this true marinara sauce for a true Italian. But I didn't know that the name of the brand Prego is Italian for you're welcome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's one expression. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, yeah, you're getting there.
I'm not far off yet. Yeah, the first time somebody said Prego to me, I thought, oh, they got that sauce in the jar.
Mario, do you get back and get to visit much?
Oh, I occasionally, yes. I still have relatives there, closest relatives still, and I visit my home now and then, which is now in Croatia. That was Italy when I was born, so I always enjoy going back, and I have great relationships there throughout.
Yeah, I mean, you moved here. Looking at your bio when you were 15, so. This is definitely your country. Oh
yes, of course. I mean, lived there most of my life, raised a family, and this is where I realized the true American dream. I'm a perfect example of that.
Mario, you took 111 victories.
Hey.
You know, when we're sitting here just trying to soak that in, that's incredible. I mean, do you look back at that, or are you astonished at that too?
Oh, indeed. I mean, it's not only that. I'm so grateful that I've had this opportunity and a long career. You know, at times where long careers were not fashionable. You know, it's the 60s, 70s, especially. You know, your chances of remaining in the business were like maybe 50% at best. So I was able to dodge a few bullets along the way and again, complete the career, retire on my own terms, and certainly more than satisfy my most ambitious goals, for sure.
Well, Mario, when you look at your career, like we just talked about, I mean, you're best known, obviously, for the Formula One and Indy Series, but you have driven the midgets, the sprint cars, the dirt track, the stock cars, the Indy cars, obviously the Formula One, Formula 5000, and sports cars. Do you have a favorite? I mean, of all of that, which one did you enjoy the most?
Well, you just said, my specialty was definitely open wheel, single seaters.
Yeah.
And that comprises all of it, like the midget sprint cars, Formula One, Indy cars, Formula 5000, sports prototypes I enjoy very much. And then I was certainly curious enough to see whether, I could drive a stock car too. And I had the opportunities. Ford gave me opportunities to drive with their factory team, Holman and Moody, a couple of times, and then we pulled off a victory at Daytona. To give me maximum satisfaction, if you can believe, just to be able to go in somebody else's sandbox and win at their game. So
no, I thought about that. Really, when you look at all your accomplishments, and there are so many, like you said, you're a blessed man. But for you to go over in stock car and win the Daytona 500, I mean, what a feat!
Well, yeah, indeed, and again, it's just I have a lot of people to thank for that.
It's a team.
They gave me the equipment to be able to do it, and things worked out, and. It's certainly one of the highlights of my career, and again, this is why I'm counting my blessings every day.
Mario, when you race in that many different formats, do you have a different plan and a different style for all of those, or are there more similarities than difference? Or are you just trying to get to the front and you do it your way?
Well, there are more similarities and differences, quite honestly. As much as the animals are, of different behavior, every race car has its own quirks and its own limits and so on and so forth. But as a race driver, your job is to just have that feel to take, 100% out of what you got under you. And again, it's the passion obviously helps to be able to just get the best out of yourself, and I found that by moving around the disciplines you also learn a little bit more. One also can complement the other. For instance, I found that just by driving the dirt tracks, I think it worked for me in the wet races, road races in Formula One or Indy cars, because that's when conditions change almost every lap, and you're always looking for grip, and you're always looking for just very different patterns as far as the taking the corners. And so on and so forth. So it's all about adapting and really having a desire to do it. So again, I was always curious, and I derived, I think, the most satisfaction out of trying to do that. Not just race, but to try to actually, actually win.
Yeah, yeah. You get that. All right. So here's the big question. So now, when Mario Andretti goes out and gets in the automobile of his choice,
I know exactly what you're thinking.
What do you love to drive in your personal life?
Well, I love my sports cars. Those are my daily drivers. I just got a new ZR1 Corvette, and I also have a Lamborghini, and I just treat myself. I'm a car guy, and I go to church with a sedan, but at the same time.
So, Mario, when you get on the highway to drive, you've raced so many miles of your life where you're out there, just your hair's on fire and you're trying to get around the track. How hard is it to drive on the interstate now?
Oh, I get a lot of people overtake me, no problem.
Do you ever have that little something rise up on you? Go, I got to beat this guy to the next exit.
Yeah, I think my wife used to tell me, you're finally calming down a little bit.
So you'll let people overtake you now. You're wiser now.
Allowed to be overtaken. Yeah, I don't block anymore.
But Mario, when you're out there and you've got it set on 65 and you get somebody right up there next to you and they're kind of riding you on the side, do you just feel the need to give it a little bit more and move around him?
No. I mean, the urge is there, but I contain it because that's when you start getting into trouble. So I just that's one time when I let him go.
Well, Mario will be the Grand Marshal. I'm glad you're coming, and it looks like we're going to give you some beautiful Alabama weather this coming weekend. The Honda Indy Grand Prix of Alabama. What a great success. I know a lot of people thought if the Indy Series came into the world of NASCAR, it would not get much of a response, and it has been a great response, not just from the South, but from all over the country, and sometimes even around the world. But what a success story this has been for the state of Alabama.
Yes, for sure. I mean, it's that beautiful Barber Motorsports Park. I mean, it's just a place to be, isn't it? I mean, you bring your family, you can enjoy, you can do some picnicking, you're doing anything. It's just so gorgeous just to be there, and so many vantage points, to watch the cars go around. So, I mean, it's not just race day. It makes it for a great weekend. So, I'm so looking forward to being there. I've been missing that event for a couple of years now, and I'm going back, and I'm going to be driving the two-seater starting Thursday. So I'll get to work down there. Besides just calling, gentlemen, start your engines type of thing.
I knew that was coming. Mario, could you do us a favor? Would you mind doing? We have these things called liners, and you would just say, "Hey, this is Mario Andretti, and you're listening to the Rick and Bubba Show." Can you do that for us?
Sure.
All right, go ahead when you're ready.
This is Mario Andretti, and you are listening to the Rick and Bubba Show.
Well done. Thank you very much, brother. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. BarberRacingEvents.com. If you want to be at Barber Motorsports Park this weekend, April 5th through the 7th, Mario will be your grand marshal. Get tickets and all the details at barberracingevents.com. Looking forward to seeing you this weekend, Mario. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Mario Andretti, the best of the best.
Legend.
The legend, baby. We'll be right back.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.